It's that time again. Oh yeah. How's everybody doing? It's a Monday morning. Getting back to work after watching pretty much all of the NBA playoff games. Oh yeah, I love it. The reason I love it so much is, well, one, I'm just starting to enjoy the game, which my whole life I never liked it. But now I enjoy it, especially because I listen to the analysis of the games, often on the way back from work for about an hour. And I just see a lot of similarities in the decisions that get made from management putting their players in positions of success. And it just reminds me of not only my own work with students, but just in our relationships with each other. You know, if we take the time to consider how someone is performing and what it is we need to do to support them in their optimal positions of growth, it's all the same thing, baby. And so that's why I find it so fascinating. The other thing I wanted to mention was embracing your homework. By that I mean, sometimes God gives us a clear look into our own condition that requires a response. And, you know, oftentimes we'll look at that, we'll like wish it wasn't there because we don't want to face it because it's uncomfortable, whether it means forgiving someone or changing our behavior in some way. You know, it's, you know, anytime we have to change, it's, you know, kind of rubs us the wrong way, right? Like, oh, I don't want to do that. So I want to encourage you to do it, even though it's uncomfortable, because if God is showing it to us and letting us see ourselves as we truly are, then that's obviously an opportunity to allow Him to take it over, so to speak, and bring healing, restoration, rejuvenation, inspiration, motivation to what normally we just want to ignore. And so in my case, it's related to my promotion of diversity, especially at the gym or when I'm out in public, when I'm not working. I like to dress in a way that lets people know I'm promoting diversity. And, you know, sometimes people will laugh at me behind my back, or they'll give me these ugly looks of judgment. Or in this one case, I went into the sauna at the gym, and this one guy that I know has a problem with my promotion. As soon as I sat down in the sauna, he just got up and bolted out of there as if I had some kind of a disease. And words. It bothers me that people would be so unkind, but I understand it, which is why I do the promotion. I do that because I work with LGBTQ teenagers, most of whom are suicidal, and they wouldn't be 5 times more likely to seriously consider suicide than straight kids if it wasn't for these kind of judgments that are out in the world, where we might say we're a tolerant society, but our behaviors suggest otherwise. My own promotion, is so unique. I almost never see, people like me dressing and presenting myself in a non-typical way for a man in almost every aspect of my life. I almost never see it. And so that's what attracted me to doing it, because it's like, well, this is a perfect reason why these poor kids feel like there's no room for them in life and are 5 times more likely to consider suicide. So I shouldn't be surprised that I'm coming up with, some of this opposition. In fact, now that I think about it, I am surprised that I don't come across it more often than I do. More often than not, the people at the gym, for instance, they just accept me for being who I am, and some of them are very friendly. Most of them just don't, bring any attention to me at all. So I'm really surprised that I don't get rebuffed and criticized more than I do. In fact, I got chastised violently by this one guy after the election, because he assumed if I'm promoting diversity then I must be voting Democrat. And I tried to bring up some issues like no legal entry into the country and things like that, and he just scoffed at me like those aren't issues that I should care about. So even in that situation, it's like people expecting me, because of how I dress and how I present myself, they think, oh, well, he's got to be this way. And I'm like, no, I'm promoting diversity, so you might want to promote diversity yourself and how you pigeonhole people to be expected to believe and act in a certain way because you've categorized them. And that's the whole problem, right? So much of the gospel of Jesus is about not responding to outward appearances, right? But being concerned about the condition of our hearts. And that's why he publicly challenged the Pharisees, who presented like they were holy, but inside they were full of dead men's bones. So anyway, I just wanted to encourage you to do your homework. If God's given you something to do with revealing where there's a need, just know that Jesus' cross and being raised to new life is our key to victory over ourselves. And just to take it it seriously and be happy that you're getting homework from God, because He wants to put an A on your paper.